Hi, I'm Michael, KB9VBR, your host for Ham Radio Q&A. Thanks for joining me on these little amateur radio adventures. And today we're out standing in the rain as part of the communications for the Wausau Marathon in Wausau, Wisconsin. It's a 26.2 mile race that stretches throughout the community here. And usually the weather is beautiful, but today we've had rain on and off all morning, so it could be a lot better. But this kind of stresses the point that if you're going to be volunteering for a public service activity, to wear proper clothing so that you're going to be able to stay comfortable, be it hot and sunny or cool and rainy. So today I got my raincoat on, my rain hat, and despite being about 55-60 degrees out here this morning, I'm still staying fairly comfortable in these light rain showers. But today I want to talk a little bit about net protocols. If you're going to take part in activities like this, what you need to be aware of if you're part of the communications for events like this. So number one on the list, if you're going to be a part of a public safety activity, public service activity, is to use tactical call signs. And the way this works is this. So we're at mile 24 at the race, so our tactical call sign is mile 24. That's where our water station is located. So when we make a call to net control, we'll say net control, mile 24. We'll wait for an acknowledgement. We'll pass our traffic to the net control, and then at the end of the traffic, we'll give mile 24 KB9VBR as my call sign. When we pass the traffic, we don't need to give our call sign at the beginning of the communications. Just the tactical call sign is sufficient. And then at the end of our communications is when we will pass, after we pass our traffic is when we will give our call sign. It really speeds up things on the net, so you're not having to over-identify when you're a part of the net. Number two, which brings me into the second item, is be concise. When you pass your traffic, think about what you're going to say before you say it, so that you can get on the air, pass your traffic in a concise manner, and then identify at the end of your communication. Don't hem and haw, don't go don't prognosticate over the air. As a station out here, it's your job to pass that traffic in an efficient manner. So be concise as possible when doing that. Next up, use a speaker microphone in an earpiece if you've got it. It really makes things a lot easier. I've got the handheld on my belt, and then my speaker mic's right here, and I do also wear a little earpiece that plugs into my speaker microphone. What this does is two things. One is it allows you to hear the traffic, so that the background noise doesn't overpower that traffic. And number two, it kind of keeps the radio traffic out of the ears of the other volunteers. Sometimes what happens is when you're passing radio traffic, they'll hear bits and pieces of the communication, and they may not understand what's going on over the air or have the whole story. So then they start to create a false impression of what's happening. So wearing an earpiece and a speaker mic helps you monitor the traffic, and then you can relay that information to the other volunteers at your aid station or rest stop, so that they don't pick up information piecemeal. Makes everything go a lot quicker. Next up is clothing. Like I said, you want to wear the proper clothing for the event. If it's hot and sunny, wear something that's going to be cool and comfortable. If it's cold and rainy, rain gear is appropriate. Dress in layers. If it's a cold weather activity, I always try to wear 2 or 3 layers so I can put things on and take things off whenever it's required. And then finally, what I think is one of the most important things in net control operations is the use of what's called break tags. Break tags are these little bitty concise words that you can interject into a QSO or in a communication, so that the net control can sort of ascertain the importance of your communication. So say if there's an ongoing conversation and you've got something to either add, or you've got emergency traffic, the break tag will allow the net control to kind of triage the situation and know that if you need to stand by, or if you should break in. So there's 7 different break tags. And of course, the most common one is going to be just your call sign. So if you throw out your call sign, either either at when the radio is silent or if there's communication going on. The call sign is an indication that the operator has traffic, and but the traffic can wait and does not require the cessation of the ongoing exchange. So this tag is expectation to be you'll hold or go on standby until net control can get back to you. The next up in kind of order of priority from lowest priority to highest priority is going to be answer. If you give the break tag answer, that should be used when there's a definitive answer to a question of an ongoing exchange or communication over the air. So if you've got a piece of information or an answer to a question that net control puts out, you can say the word answer and then net control acknowledge, and you can answer your information. Question is to be used when the answer of a question can't wait. For example, if a public official is standing next to you and requesting you to get information using your radio. So if you have a question to go over the air, you can say question, net control can acknowledge you, and then you can pass that information. Info or information, to be used when information needs to be transmitted rapidly but is not related to what is being said on the air. For example, if the event that the net control needs to know what is about to happen in the next few seconds, or if waiting at the end of an exchange will negate the value of the information. So if you've got something that's not necessarily critical, but is pertinent to the conversation that's going on at this point in time, the info tag can tell the net control that you can fill in the blanks. Priority, to be used to report an important but non-life-threatening situation, such as a fender bender or something has happened at your station. Medical, to be used to report a medical incident that affects the operator in some way. For example, having to leave his or her post, a few minutes to walk to someone with a minor cut over at the medical tent. So if there's a medical situation, that medical tag will help, will let net control what's going on. And then finally, the most important tag would be emergency. Be used to report ongoing life or property threatening or a damaging incident. So if there's something that is super critical, we're talking about damage to property, life and limb, the emergency tag lets the net control know, cease all other communications, and that your conversation should have top priority over anything else. You want to know more information about brake tags? Go over to my blog at www.jpole-antenna.com. I've got an article that you can print out and share with the rest of your communications team, and to use the brake tag system in order to expedite your net traffic. Well, I hope you found this information helpful. As always, if you like this video, please give me that big thumbs up. I really appreciate that. Questions and comments, leave them in the comments below. Let's keep the discussion going. I always try to respond to comments on this video. I really appreciate it. That's where we get ideas for upcoming videos, is through the comments that people leave. And then finally, like I said, check out my blog, www.jpole-antenna.com. More articles and information there. And always subscribe to my videos so you get notifications when new ones are released. I'm Michael, KB9VBR. I'm going to go find a dry place to sit for the rest of this marathon. You have a great day, and 73.